already of this. They managed to beat PaperX. They've lost to Huatsai, who are yet to win a series, just in case anybody was wondering. And they lost to Bren. And losing to Bren is fine, but they lost to Bren 16-2. And Bren started on the T side. So, I know that some people can be like, oh, Tom, he's the toxic bald guy. I've heard that one now from one dude in the chat. Thanks for that. But if they manage to win this map, I will be blown away. Because all evidence or statistics, even just logic in terms of comparison between the two teams, point towards Beyond winning this one dominantly. So even if Checkmate have a decent map, at least we could see that maybe they've fixed some of the problems. And the biggest problem they've had is they're sort of going onto this B site, as many teams do, they just seem to struggle.
Yeah, it is the struggle bus. Well, we'll see how things are going to be working out for Checkmate on that B hold in just a little bit, because Beyond are looking to split in through the CT spawn. They've already got their players in position, but they didn't expect Techno, but he couldn't get anything done. Misses his full mag. Hawk able to return onto KNTZ and spraying the bullets on into Olivia. A 2 versus 3 turned into a 2v2. This is now winnable. Glock traded out Olivia. Oh my! Ooh. Long range shot to Kaz. A beautiful little one tap. And they know exactly where Rue is. He's trying to bait that player out into peeking. The deep molly as he goes in towards the site. A 1v1 now isolated. The question is, can he hit the shot? And as of yet, the answer is no. They're just going to bait out the time. Let it run completely down. No! Olivia almost got shut down. Rue knows exactly where QQ is. But a really nicely timed swing. A Glock headshot. Beyond go 1-0.
They should have lost that round. Like, in reality, like they wrapped into a site that had 3 players on it and managed to get the bomb planted with still one of them alive. Like, it doesn't make much sense. And yeah, I don't really know how they managed to do that, especially in a pistol round. To wrap all the way through Ivy is a bit of a weird one. Like, I feel like that should be something the CTs are more prepared for. But I guess they had the same sort of thought that I had, that their B site's weak, so they put 2 players and a player and connector. So yeah, not the best of starts. We're going to see heavy investment into the rifles for Beyond. We're probably going to head into the B site. Lots of long range angles once they clear out the upper position. And realistically, the saving grace here is that there's a double scout on the other side. The nade over the top does a bit of damage, and you may be thinking, Tom, not really that much, but a scout shot to STK would remove him. We have seen at least a slight early rotation. Again, though, this is one of those scenarios where we see a new player being sort of put in, or a stand-in even being put into a spot where he's having to play a really tough role. So nice work from Kaz to kick things off. Oh, it's a bit awkward, and I don't know how neither of them managed to kill Mayros. Eventually, they're going to tag him up, and there we go, Kaz. He got there in the end. Nice shot from Hawk as well, but the trades come back thick and fast. They made this one very costly. As said, this was all rifles, so it probably should have been a bit cleaner, but again, I don't think Beyond are really going to mind.
No, I don't think so. The confidence is definitely in Beyond's court, and I think before you get them worrying about anything, you're going to have to be significantly in the lead. This is the T side for Beyond. Not one where we would traditionally expect a lot of rounds, but one where I expect them to win it out pretty convincingly, based on what we saw previously and based on what we know about Checkmate's train. What I want to mention as well, that previous map, I think, really Checkmate won 2 or 3 rounds. Like, where Beyond were fully focused in and coming in with the, like, proper strategies, it was 2 or 3 rounds the Checkmate managed to take. And you saw it with the reset that they had when they baited out Kaz's rotation from mid. They started to really use their utility. It just became very, very convincing all of a sudden. And that was Beyond just going, all right, let's play this round properly. Let's not mess about.
Well, Olivia went into that round with a USP. Still hasn't died, and now has enough money that if he wanted to, he could buy his orb, but they've actually decided against it for this round. Potentially just going to use this as a bit of a bonus, even though they only have 1 Mac 10 and a Galil. For the defense as well, AWP in the hands of Kaz. You need to have high impact in this game. You expect a lot from your AWPer in particular. We know that double AWP setup's quite likely. Push comes out. He hits the leg shot onto STK. But this might just be an elaborate ruse. It seems like the rest of the team are going to be making their way around to the B site. And I think they've done their research here. I think they know that this is the vulnerable site, that this has been the player to pressure. Sure, we've seen good performances from Techno, but this needs to be a really big one. It's a bit of a whiff, but luckily his opponent on the other side did not have a rifle, and he stays standing. Good work from him in the end. Olivia now just looks to try and make this one costly. As said, they can buy into the next round without any real issues. The question is, will the CTs be able to?
Kaz jumped into a molly there in connector to try and get a kill, and he managed it. He managed to shut down one, but he died to the Molotov in the end. Now 1v3, though, not the worst position to leave your team in. It was worthwhile to allow Techno to have that little bit of support and see Olivia trying to pressure in towards connector. He can't see anybody, so eventually he's just going to be forced to go for the bomb plant, is what I would say. But obviously the bomb is down on the B site, so there's no real chance for him to do that. And as he comes up behind and tries to take out Rue, it's a quick shot. The AWP.
Oh. A nice hold from Techno. I think they're going to pressure him quite often, though. And I do wonder if it was a little bit quicker from Beyond, if they would have been able to catch that site with only one player on it. I think there was a slightly earlier rotation than expected. Mayrose is going to just blast his way out again. It's Kaz to start things off. This is a bare basics push from Beyond.
Yeah, I'm not a fan. I'm not a fan of this one at all. I think previous round, all they were missing was a smoke for connector. If they smoked it off instead of mollying, Kaz wouldn't have been able to do anything with the op. He would have been forced to rotate down to the back and watch cross on site. They could have pressured Techno. Instead, they gave him the space to come in and help his teammate out. Because the molly in play and he just tanked it. It was a good decision by Kaz. I don't think there was necessarily the need to go for this faster A play. I respect the fact that you want to try it, but they have been heavy punished for it. And Olivia's got a 1v5. I mean, he's found one kill, but I don't see much more happening and going his way. I mean, that's a good start back for Checkmate, Tom, realistically. At this point, they should be looking at 3-3. And okay, they've lost a couple of... Ooh, they didn't get the AWP.
They lost the AWP. Oh, that's expensive. They can drop another one over, but that will be pretty much all of their reserve cash just going out the window. Hawk's going to have a small amount extra. Of course, it's not the end of the world. They're going to have enough that in this round, it shouldn't be too much of a problem. Unless we're going to see 2 or 3 kills and maybe that AWP lost again. But yeah, so far, I feel like we haven't seen anything too much from Beyond on their T side. Like, I feel like every team goes for those burst plays every once in a while just to try and throw off their opponent, see if they can get away with it. And after the last map, you can understand that Beyond think they're probably going to be able to get away with anything. So it's a good thing for Checkmate that they have managed to shut down this early play. Very easy kill for Kaz to start. Well, all that's invested here is 3 Deagles. So they're looking for 2 kills, really.
I'm looking for a bomb plant as well, if they can manage to find it. Beyond taking the bomb in through upper, they're going to rotate around now, full commit. Only 1 flash in play. It's in the hands of QQ. It's going to be coming down that ramp. It's up and over. In fact, that it catches Kaz, but not fully. He's able to hit the shot. The bomb yet to really leave. Ooh, it's running out wide on Heaven. That seems odd, but oh my god, what's happening? Olivia's hit 3 headshots with the Deagle. What? I hope we have a replay of that. I saw him run out wide on Heaven. I'm scratching my head thinking, why are they not just planting the bomb? But 3 kills with a Deagle in succession? That's not... Oh my god, hold on. Beautiful.
1, 2. No, oh, no, wait, he missed one.
Oh my god.
Oh.
That's disgusting. If we can, after this round, can we see that in full speed? Not slow-mo? Because that... I just heard bang, 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 bang. Like, it was so quick.
Well, Olivia's here to play, that's for sure. He's currently averaging 2 kills a round. And it's 3-all. But, Now we need to see them capitalize off of it. As said, they needed 2 kills in that round. They got 3, so the money still isn't great. The AWP has been retained at least. And I'm not surprised that he's not decided to pick his one up yet, because I don't think he needs it. Now, IV control is something that we've seen given up a fair bit in these early rounds. Now, of course, for Blitz, he is trying to hold it from a more passive angle, but just a single smoke being down completely moved the defense. Everything's just been shifted. The initial plan goes out the window from just $300 worth of investment. Now, for the T's, they're just waiting patiently. They're waiting for the aggression, although the timing might get the better of them, and actually Techno has managed to catch the kill. This is going to cause some real issues now for Beyond, as with 45 seconds left, they've got to come up with a new plan.
It's going to set them out of sorts, right? Out of their comfort zone of what they wanted to do in this round, but looking in towards the B side, the danger is that they won't have enough players to really cover upper. If they lose anybody on the way down, that allows Hawk to get up behind them quite quickly. 2-man stack already on this side. Hawk on his way on the flank. This is beautiful. Great reactions by Checkmate. Everything here is lined up well for them. I don't see this one not going their way. 10 seconds left. Bomb dropped. Round over. Can they even save, though? Probably not, because Hawk's up behind, and he's managed to catch off a quick double. That closes the round and puts Checkmate on 4-3, having destroyed Beyond in that previous. This is looking much better than I expected. Again, though, you have to remember, they're on the CT side, so there's always space for things to fall apart a little bit further.
Interestingly, though, the last time they played, I said it was Bren 16-2ing them while starting on the T side. So it was their CT side that actually had a lot of issues, and we never really got to see what their T side had to offer. Of course, I'm not saying that Beyond need to get that many rounds to win the map. Of course, if they get like 6, 7, they're probably in a very, very good spot, especially with how effective their players seem to be on the CT side. Then there's been a few rounds now where, although sure in the buy rounds, it's been very, very good for Checkmate. Some of these faster plays, some of these group up plays from the side of Beyond have come close to catching them off guard. So I'm definitely not fully sold just yet, but it's definitely looking better. And one of the main things I want to give them props for is these rotations back to the B site. They're not leaving it all down to Techno. They've tried to adapt to make sure that this youngster is not just having to deal with a full forced push. He always seems to have Kaz's support, and Kaz so far has been fantastic with that AWP. The only worry for me, he misses a shot or two, maybe one of these rounds goes away.
Exactly. Oh, the bomb first down, split by the Molotov. Great work by Checkmate, by Techno specifically. That spray is beautiful. He had Rue up behind him.
Rude.
Yeah, getting the 2. But he transferred over to the other player. It was great stuff by Checkmate overall there. I think Techno had great reactions on when to throw that Molotov down, isolated the bomb. Had he not have done that, had the Molly have been 1 second later, or even earlier, they could have refocused, right? They could have just pulled back with the bomb, waited till later, moved towards the A site, done whatever they wanted. But then they were pigeonholed into going towards that inner site. And the fact that he threw it when he did and not a little bit later meant that there was no support. They couldn't get that bomb down. Really nice stuff.
Oh, Kaz again. They really have struggled to deal with him. Mayrolls, as I said, in the last map it didn't matter that he was quiet. In this one, it's a little bit more of a problem. 1 kill. STK, 1 kill. Like, what is going on? We expect a lot more from these players, and sure, and normally like an individual isn't enough for a map to slip away, but on the T side especially, it's leaving positions where you're basically expecting someone like Olivia or QQ to get like 3, 4 kills for you to be able to win the round, which is, well, a little bit unacceptable. Back to the B site they go, but the CT side have gone back to this 2-2 split that has been working so well. And the problem is, I think Beyond have become too predictable. They battle for A in the early stages, but so far they've been ending on B every round, and, well, you can see they're waiting for it.
Yeah, I 100% agree with you. I think the predictability has been a big problem so far for Beyond. You can see yet again, as you said, they're already here waiting. Techno had the timing on the spray through the smoke. And with that, the round is over and done with. Great stuff yet again, as Beyond find themselves in a pretty tough position. Look, they find those first 3 rounds, but they really need to get back on the board. And Checkmate somehow looking just so much better than they did in the previous map.
Well, I'll be honest, this is where I'd like to see Beyond take some sort of tactical pause. Like, this is 6 rounds in a row. Like, even though it's on your T side of a map that can be really tough, especially the lower level you go, I think a lot of the time it becomes more and more questionable about whether or not teams can actually grind out these T side rounds, whether they have the strategies to do so when things go wrong. But yeah, this has been really poor from them so far, and I think that's the moment you need to talk things through, come up with something new. They're going to go for the drop down. It does get rid of Hawk, but only at the expense of a trade, so not really the end of the world. The difference, however, is Rue going down. It's left onto Blitz, and they finally started to overwhelm Ivy. Kaz, he's always in the right place at the right time. If they peek him together, though, he shouldn't stand a chance. They're actually going to try and use some utility. KTZ just sprays him through the smoke, and now it's left onto Techno, trying to hold on. He doesn't expect QQ to peek him wide. And after a long hiatus from the board, a faster play catches off Checkmate. And those are the things I like. I sort of mentioned it earlier that Ivy has been a position that Checkmate have been negating. That's why they've had such fast rotations into the B side, because that is obviously the longest rotation back to B. And, well, they finally press it, and things actually go quite well.
Beautifully handled. I like it. Even without that pause, even at the time to really think about what was going wrong, they realized that there's been some problems. There's been some elements that have been left unchecked over in the Beyond side. Now with that added pressure, they look to capitalize on it yet again. And you look at this. They're in Ivy, or they're outside of it at least, and nobody from the CT side is here. It is a complete vacuum of counter-terrorist control. What they have got, though, and sees back in its play... Oh, my God. I thought Hawk had got a double there. I really thought that was the second connected. But the bullets were luckily being tanked up by the wood and just about missing. They've got team main control, but they've had to leave it now, having nothing over Pop Dog. Blitz wants to rotate in there to try and get the early flank on B, and a good shutdown in Ivy, deleting both players as the bomb looks to rotate to this B site. Mayrolls making a lot of steps. There's already 2 players here, one on his way up on the flank, but he might actually be caught off. Look, if Mayrolls finds this kill, if he doesn't get shut down, QQ's going to get that kill on the flank. There's no way Blitz expects him to be here. Oh, maybe not even the kill. No, he's just going sneaky down towards this A site.
Well, an unlikely scenario for QQ, and needs to get something done here. Bomb plant would be nice, but after getting spotted, Blitz is just going to dome him. And this looks like a very different Checkmate. Even just on an individual level, they look like a much, much better squad. I think it also does come down to the fact that Mayrolls and STK are having a really bad performance for their standards. And finally, we're going to see attack pause. But I'll be honest, Mitch, I wanted to see that when they were actually going into a better buy. Like, if they go for a purchase here, it's going to suck. So you're almost like wasting an extra round of, okay, like, do we go for pistols here or do we do that, rather than actually talking about what you need to be doing in the overall rounds.
Yeah, I think it's, even you look at the old system, right? The 1.6ers will know all about, where you used to actually use these kind of rounds as attack pause in and of itself. So it is odd that they're coming into this one with, I guess, the heavier strategy, but maybe they want to isolate some form of weakness, figure out, obviously they're spotting some abnormalities over towards Ivy. They're seeing the B site defense now. I'm sure they've got a pretty good read on what's going on over on that site. They've been there enough. They should do. And so I don't think it's unreasonable for them to have a faster play, but yeah, I'd rather them just take the pause it come into a buy round. Like, what was the pause for, Tom? If they just called smoke A?
2 players have got quite deep into this A site, but it seems like they're somewhat aware of it, at least. Mayrolls with the CZ, I'd be surprised if he gets anything more done from this, and it's basically just the same again. They've just allowed more money to be built up for Checkmate on that CT side. Obviously, like, even 5-6 rounds could be enough for Beyond to get this over the line. Even 4 at a stretch if they win the pistol. We've seen dominant CT sides of this map in the past, but yeah, since Olivia's slowed down, there's really not been much to talk about. Like I said, within the first 6 rounds, he had 12 kills. We're now in round 12, and he's had 2 since. So obviously can't expect him to carry the whole match, but you can see now that Beyond don't seem to have as much coming up for them. And in fact, he's going to invest into a glass cannon AWP to try and change things up a little bit.
Was my concern, right? What if Olivia isn't turning up? Well, we're seeing that to a smaller extent here. KNTZ falls. Mayro's good for the trade. This is a decent start, at least for the Beyond side. Pulling it back into a 4v4, but it's the HP that really concerns me. These guys are quite low at the moment. Especially Mayro's 25 health. It's taking quite a hit, and again, it seems like we're just going back over towards this default in towards the B site, and it hasn't had too much success, really. 4 rounds on the board is okay, but considering in buy rounds they've done practically nothing. And after the tack pause, I feel like it was just coordination of economy, because nothing seems to have changed all too much in this round. Although, as I say that, there's a heavy shift in towards this A site down through Pop.
Oh, the problem is they've already lost control of A main, so they're not going to check for this, are they? I just don't believe they will. I think Hawk is going to have the easiest kills of his life. May rolls, he eventually checks, but it's too little too late. And now they need to clear this position. It's such a good option for a retake here for Checkmate. Every angle covered, aggression coming in. There should be... Oh, Roo-scoped! QQ didn't even react! It should have heard that. It makes a very loud noise. And while Hawk is now going to clear off one more, Olivia's hoping that someone will come down the ladder. In fact, he's just going to wait to retreat. It is going to be a 9th round. Nothing he can do about it. And yeah, Beyond, they're not necessarily playing badly in some of the situations they're in. Like, I like the switch up back towards Pop. The problem is you have to know that you've abandoned certain areas of the map. So if you're not going to check them properly, or if you're not going to clear them as a team, then there's no point. Like, they're being so reliant on an individual winning them the round, and unfortunately this map, their individuals haven't shown up.
Exactly. This is dead right. Individually, they've been a little bit quiet. Their T side, as I said, I expected them to win this one out. I expect them to do a very good job, and so far that has not been the case. It has been quite underwhelming when you're looking towards this Beyond side.
Oh my god.
This is the quickest round I think we've seen played out all day. It just got shut down right off the bat.
Oh, well. They've gone from getting dominated on their own map to now dominating on their opponent's choice. And well, it's one that Beyond, of course, have maybe not necessarily played religiously, but we thought would be at least able to play to a decent point. This is poor, and unfortunately going forward again, we start to question, well, if they're going to do this versus these sort of teams, how are they going to face off if another team wants to go towards a train, like for example maybe a Vici or someone like that. It could be a much tougher scenario for them. So yeah, it's going to be interesting. Blitz clearly feeling confident. It's going to go running out towards Ivy. Should be caught off, but no, KNTZ just doesn't hit a shot.
An odd one. And for the final round, you don't want to be losing your players early on like this, but it doesn't look like there's much choice, really. It's not about what they want, it's about what they can do. And on the Beyond side, very little is what they've been able to do. This is looking clear cut, and Checkmate bouncing back in a way I don't think anybody will have expected. Even if you're a Checkmate fan out there, I think you'd be a damn liar if you said you imagine this kind of performance coming through on Train of all maps. But here we are, 11-4 at the halftime. An absolutely phenomenal turn of events. Big change from what we saw on the previous, and Checkmate still have a difficult task when it comes to the T side. But as you said, Tom, the weakness when we previously saw them was their CT, and I think it's fair to say they fixed it.
Yeah, part of me wants to say they fixed it, and part of me wants to say that Beyond didn't really try anything special. Like, they were just whiffing their shots. Like, in that spray there, he had the advantage of 4 or 5 bullets, and he hit him once. This is just poor. And that, like, you look at the fact that the moment Olivia has 16 kills, and that you could add any 3 of the players together, and then they wouldn't even add up to that. Actually, wait, they'd add up to 17 if you use KNTZ, QQ, and Mayrolls. Okay, they beat him by 1, but that's still unacceptable. That is a real shame. And considering he started off so strong and still had a couple of rounds here and there where he put up some numbers, you have to just question what's just happened, because they went in to the last map absolutely destroying everybody. It seemed like their whole team was confident, comfortable, and then they came into this one. I don't know if they just thought it was done at this point, or maybe had seen the previous performance versus Brand and just been like, oh, they got 16-2, this is going to be easy. But yeah, they've been underwhelming, and I have to respect Checkmate for coming out and just resetting themselves, pummeling them into the ground in the first half. And now, oh, it's awkward. That's the bomb denied, because there's plenty of time, so it's not the end of the world. But they've now got to try and reposition. They've managed to get Heaven as well, Mitch. There's some pretty good afterplants here.
If Checkmate win this pistol, like, this is a giant leap towards victory. And they've already gotten another opening coming back in for this. Beyond aren't looking all too hot. The retake falling apart a little bit. They've got to get some kills now. Coming up the ladder. Oh, no. The inaccuracy on the ladder. You hate to see it, Tom. You can't look away.
Well, 12-4. Yeah, this is looking like just as dominant as the last map. Like, you remove the pistol win from Beyond, and they also only managed to get one round in that first half. So, yeah, I guess Checkmate just didn't really... Maybe they weren't warmed up. Maybe some of the players just weren't feeling too good, or just let the momentum get to them. Obviously, a lesser experienced team than Beyond, but I guess that's what makes this so questionable, is just the fact that Beyond are the much more experienced team. Like, they went toe-to-toe with Tyloo the other day. Probably should have won that series if it wasn't for a couple of Tyloo rounds. And now they're struggling versus Checkmate. And I think Checkmate are really making a case for themselves as one of the teams that could get out of this sort of group stage and end up making their way into the playoffs. Maybe as one of the bottom seeds, but they're currently in that position above Beyond at the moment. Now, we gave Beyond the benefit of the doubt that they were playing against some tougher opponents, but sure we can give them the benefit of the doubt anymore.
No, I think they've just sown more doubt, if anything. As, oh my word, this is not looking all too good for them in this round. The Force Buy has seen one kill, and Checkmate, I mean, they're looking set to bring us to a third map. I really didn't imagine this. You said, or Blad was saying actually about how, oh, we could see that third map come through. Or like, are they going to be able to?
It through train.
Yeah, I was shaking my head. I was like, nope, ain't gonna happen. But here we are, and I gotta give props to Checkmate. They have looked a whole lot better. Like that defense on B was the weakness that we highlighted. It was the weakness that Beyond tried to exploit almost every single round, and they got away with it. What, once? The fact that they had such good rotations in through connector, and they gave up Ivy. Sure, they got punished for it one round, and that's it. That is glorious. That's the kind of thing you dream about.
Well, yeah, that's the thing. In buy rounds, Beyond successfully took B 0 times, even though they pushed it like 6 rounds or something at least. To the early stages, they went there like 3-4 times in a row. So yeah, really good B site defense, and that's something I haven't said in this tournament. Like, most teams have sucked at defending B. Hawk has risen from the ashes. Maybe he should change his name to Phoenix. But either way, 13-4, just an MP9 saved, USPs, a little bit of utility, and, well, this round is already looking over. They're going to have to rotate very quickly to even get back into control. And, okay, STK, he's managed to be a little bit sneaky. I think he's hit a dink as well, but eventually he will fall. Interesting that KNTZ is actually boosting up his teammate when he's the one with the gun. But maybe just looking to try and save the Kevlar or something for the next round.
Yeah, the MP9. But the MP9 can still serve some purpose though, right? You can hold in towards Pop Dog with it reasonably. Maybe bottom ramp on B. I don't know if he's going to necessarily keep it. The Kevlar is always going to be useful, and maybe if you can find one exit kill, that would be very valuable. Unfortunately, he finds a shot to the head, and that's that ain't exactly what you want. QQ gonna go. Oh, nice shot with the deagle. Gets one. That's all. And I mean, it's not worth it. It's not worth it at all. The SMG kill I can see because you get a little bit of extra money. the Deagle, it's not going to net you that much, and Checkmate lose nothing, right? And the Kevlar that they threw away by KNTZ trying to hunt that one down so aggressively wasn't worth it. Wasn't worth it at all.
Well, we've got Olivia onto the AWP. We've got to buy at least. And Mayros, he's about to come under pressure, but he thrives under it. 4 kill spray down. He might have just doubled his kills in 1 round. That was ridiculous. And now it's left all onto Kaz. I don't think he expected that with the B rush being thrown in. Of course, as mentioned, it's something that quite a lot of teams do. They'll throw in a faster round after a pause or after they go into the buy rounds. Well, it's going to be flawless. Absolutely flawless. Mayrol's the only person to take any damage, and well, with 4 kills in response, that's not bad at all. And yeah, it's pretty close to doubling his kills. He had 5, he now has 9.
This was ridiculous. Like, you don't see that every day, do you? 4 players running down the ramp on a full buy. It's the fact that it's a full buy as well, right? They had armor, they had everything to work with, the utility as they came down that ramp, and yet he's just stood there tanking it. He was looking like a tiger tank. He was impenetrable. And now for Beyond, 5 rounds. They found another Tom. They've finally done it. The thing is, they've got a couple more to go. They need 11 rounds in a row. Hey, Tom. We can sit here and talk about CT side advantage train. We can do that, no problem. But 11 straight rounds? It's a little bit too much to ask.
Impressed, that's for sure. To be fair to them, they did win the first half of the last map 14-1 on the CT side. I'd say this is a more CT-sided map, so you know. It's possible. Unlikely, but possible. Nice shot from Olivia as well. And, well, he has been the one thing that's been good for this squad. Mayros coming alive a little bit. At least this might get them a bit more momentum going into the next map. I think that's something that can be quite important. Say you're losing dominantly, if you at least get a few rounds where you individually perform. STK, by the way, is still on 2 kills, which, yeah, as said, like, we don't like to pick out an individual, but that's a little bit ridiculous.
It is most certainly ridiculous. Olivia. He's going to look to make some ridiculous scenes happen on our screens. As STK finds a player up close, they know they're already out of team main. 1 shut down, that's a rifle gone. The Glock up close, not standing a great chance of finding the trade. Although that said, STK is on 5 HP, so pretty much anything will do it. Lobs a nade through as they exit, but Checkmate have pulled fully back. The walk down the right side, not quite going to work out, unfortunately. Across the map now, they're just spread. Looking for some opportunities to take some kills. It's not a round that they stand a great chance of really taking, and they know that coming into things.
Oh, STK just doubled his kills in 1 round. That's something. Still had an 8k in this round, but, well, eventually it's going to be dropped. Flawless again from Beyond, and they've now had a couple of rounds like that. Money is off the charts, but, well, realistically, if they lost one, they'd of course be buying no matter how much finances they had. I think it's important for Checkmate that they get the rounds that they need early. I think if we even see like 10 plus come up on the board for Beyond, I start to worry for them. Because we know the momentum that Beyond can build. If they can do it on Dust 2 CT side, they can definitely do it on Train CT side. It's worth not counting them out just yet. Although I will say, it is very, very unlikely for Checkmate being willing to play this map. You're going to see them take some early pop control. And both teams seem to have this early setup that they hold with 4. And then a rotation back seemingly of very little information other than the fact that it's not a fast play. While with pop control about to be completely taken and pressured, it is looking like it's going to be the A site after all.
It definitely is. You can hear the utility coming over now, and Beyond have got that read. SDK up close is the one that's looking to do some damage. He's already come through with one, but that's all he can get. And a shutdown by Kaz as the site completely opens up. Checkmate have got that bomb plant. They've found Olivia hiding in the back of the trains, but they don't know about KNTZ. May rolls in with a nade kill, but it's all down to KNTZ. 1 versus 2, and he's already picked up one. The problem is, look at his HP. Look at how low this guy is.
I think it would almost take a mistake from Hawk at this point. He's going to peek out, but with 22 kills to his name, he's clearly feeling fairly confident. That streak of 11 rounds, it's not quite happened, has it? It's not quite as many at this point. They need 8 in a row to take us to overtime. They're going to invest straight into a double AWP setup. While for the T side, they actually still have some holes in their buy. A MAC-10 invested into here could be used to try and take control of some close pop control, or maybe a pressuring push towards the B site. Realistically, Blitz, he's just done that to make sure that he has some extra utility available to him.
It does definitely feel like this one is pretty much done and dusted. I don't see how this kind of comeback can really be mounted, regardless of what team it is. We could be putting Tai Lu in the position of Beyond right now, and I still wouldn't feel comfortable. 1 round here or there, it's always going to happen. At least in the case of Beyond, it didn't, but you would imagine it would. So here we go. The push in towards the side. Missed shot by Olivia. This should be it, Tom. This has been one hell of a comeback by Checkmate. They got dominated when it came through to the first map. And here they are, absolutely destroying. But Beyond, hold on. This is being pulled right back. May rolls in with a double. And they're saying, not yet. Not today, as Checkmate. Oh, the sneaky play by Rue. He's only good for 1 before he's spotted, but able to grab another and leave it into the 1v1. Hawk got the time on his side, 20 seconds as whoa, nice nade straight on the head of Hawk. He's down to the CZ. He's tapped, has he tapped the bomb? It doesn't matter. Hawk has seen that he's not on it. No time anymore. He'd have to go down and stick it. It's all over. The crown is there because the victory royale is going over towards Checkmate. Kaboom goes the dynamite. And well, that is certainly an unexpected